Someone is talking to you. You're listening. You're engaged. You genuinely care about what they're saying. And then you realize you've been looking at the floor, at their shoulder, at some point slightly past their face, anywhere but their eyes. You didn't decide to do this. You didn't think, I'm going to avoid eye contact now. It just happened, quietly, automatically, without your permission. And if someone pointed it out, you'd probably feel embarrassed. Not because you were being rude, but because you weren't even aware you were doing it. This happens more than people realize. In conversations with people you've just met. In conversations with people you've known for years. Sometimes in the middle of saying something yourself, you glance away, lose the thread slightly, look back, glance away again. It's a rhythm that runs underneath your conversations, mostly unnoticed, occasionally creating this vague feeling that you're not quite fully present even when you are. And what makes it complicated is that eye contact is one of those things that seems like it should be simple. You look at someone when you talk to them. That's basic. That's normal. So when your eyes keep sliding away, when holding someone's gaze feels like too much, like something you have to actively manage rather than something that just happens, it can feel like evidence of something. Like you're defective in some quiet, social way that everyone else seems to have figured out except you. Here's what's actually happening. And it's more interesting than you might expect. Eye contact is one of the most intense forms of social communication humans engage in. When you make eye contact with someone, you are exposing yourself to direct evaluation. You are allowing another person unmediated access to your face, to your expressions, your reactions, your emotional state. Eye contact communicates, I am here. I am present. You can see me. And for a brain that is anxious about social evaluation, for a nervous system that monitors how it's being perceived, that kind of exposure is genuinely overwhelming. Not metaphorically overwhelming. Neurologically, looking directly into someone's eyes activates the same social evaluation circuits that regulate your sense of safety in social situations. More eye contact means more data flowing in both directions. More visibility, more exposure. And so the brain, trying to manage the intensity of that exposure, does something automatic. It looks away, not out of disrespect, not out of disinterest, out of self-regulation. The glance away is a pressure valve, a way of briefly reducing the intensity of the social signal so the nervous system can catch its breath. There's a deeper layer to this that connects to something very old. In many social species, including humans, prolonged eye contact is also a dominant signal. It's a show of confidence, of authority, of social power. And for someone who has spent significant time in environments where making themselves small was safer, where drawing attention to themselves was risky, where being too visible had a cost, direct eye contact can activate an instinct that has nothing to do with the present conversation at all. The looking away isn't necessarily shyness. It can be a deeply learned survival response, a physical expression of the belief, I am safer when I take up less space, when I am less visible, when I don't hold the gaze that claims presence and authority and the right to be seen. You may not consciously hold this belief. You may not even agree with it. But the body often holds what the mind has moved past. And the eyes, which communicate more than almost any other part of the face, are often the last place where old patterns finally let go. If you've ever noticed yourself looking away mid-conversation and then wondering why, I want you to understand something about what that instinct is trying to do. It is not trying to be rude. It is not trying to make the other person feel unimportant. It is trying to give you a moment of relief from something that your nervous system experiences as genuinely intense. It is trying to protect you from the specific vulnerability of being fully seen. And that vulnerability is real. Eye contact is intimate. It is not nothing. The discomfort you feel when trying to hold someone's gaze is not irrational or invented. It is your system responding to something that is, in fact, a form of exposure. You don't need to force yourself into sustained eye contact that feels unbearable. That's not the goal. And performing eye contact while internally overwhelmed isn't connection. It's just a different kind of hiding. What's worth knowing is simply this. The next time your eyes move away in the middle of a conversation, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're rude. It doesn't mean you're failing at something that should be easy. It means there's a part of you that is still learning that being seen is safe. And that learning, quiet, slow, happening in the spaces between conversations, is some of the most important work a nervous system can do.